week 1 win. Give us a little recap on that, and then we'll open it up for questions about New Mexico State.
Yeah, it was a nice win for us. A lot of really some positives that we did in the game. Really enjoyed how we played as far as our effort and the focus we had. There's obviously some mistakes that made that game closer than it needed to be, but things that we can definitely correct, and hopefully, our team will have the right mindset to see that there's some good things that they did, but also they want to get better. And that's what our focus has been, after the game, as we talked about it, just working on getting better and continue to, stack days. But if we can bring the same excitement and energy and our focus that our guys had, then we got a chance to have a good team.
What are these shirts?
So we just Tuesday or our first practice of the week is we call it Tombstone Day, and it's just a mindset for us that it's a physical day, that you got to come ready to go, because mentality, mindset. So we've had it for a long time. New name this year. We call it something different at other places, but new name this year, new shirt. It looks good.
Had a couple of days to kind of reflect on Saturday's performance and Caden Salter getting the start. How do you feel like he performed with a couple of days to kind of reflect on that?
I thought he did some really good stuff. We've got to clean up. He's got to clean up some of his mechanics and some of those things. I think got him in trouble where maybe not trusting the protection as quite it needs to be, or not taking the right drops and detailed things that could have given us first downs, maybe some touchdowns, and some of those things. But as far as handling and managing the game, I thought he did a nice job, from that. Took care of the ball. Got to clean up a little bit of the one-handed stuff, holding on to it there. But good opportunity to build off of that, and from a confidence standpoint, he doesn't shy about the confidence that he has, but as we can continue to put his confidence in his preparation and see how good he can be, I thought there were some good things that he did there. We've got to clean up those detail stuff, because as we continue to play better teams like this week, the drop or the timing of the throw or staying in the pocket is going to be vital if we continue to move drives.
In terms of the run defense, having looked back at it, do you feel like it was execution at times? Do you feel like game plan at times? How do you kind of assess where that is now going up against the New Mexico State team that can run pretty well also?
Most of it was execution. We had guys in the places or the calls what it needed to do, and they didn't execute it to their ability. I think the thing we noticed from the game is that we played hard, but sometimes we didn't do the things that they're supposed to do on the play calls. And what I mean by that, just in the emotion of the game or in the moment of the game, just lost their coaching almost. And so we harped a lot on that yesterday, as far as just being able to use the emotion there that we have, but we got to still be detailed in it. And obviously, I was disappointed in the overall rushing, of our defense. When you get 5 turnovers, obviously you're excited about that, but we can't give up the yardage we did in the run game like that. And our guys know that, and so it's guys doing their job and not trying to do too much. We had too many guys trying to be the player of the week instead of just doing their job.
I know you're down a couple guys, especially on the defensive line, but do you think that you guys were able to rotate enough guys on defense, or are you looking to maybe do that a little bit more moving forward?
I don't think we did. Looking back at it, I think we probably should have done that more earlier. We didn't do a good job of that, and I think that's a new, trying to find our way a little bit on the defensive side there, and hey, who can do what, and just trusting our guys that they can go in there and play, and that was the first thing that we talked about, is just need to play them earlier more. I think you'll see us doing that going forward, of getting more of a rotation. We probably had some guys play a little bit too many snaps and they got tired, and so we've got to do a better job of that, of getting a rotation, and those players have to do a good job of when they're in there and making the most of it.
Looking at the offensive line, Jack Tucker, your thoughts on what he was able to do when he came in there at the left tackle spot, and just overall the shifts that you guys made up along the line along the game?
We were real pleased and happy for Jack. Jack's worked hard since he got here, and we knew when we brought him in that he was going to be a developmental guy, a guy that we thought once he got stronger and did some of the things that he could be really good for us. But it was good to see him come in. We we had an injury issue, and he came in. I think he played 13, 14 snaps and graded out well. He's actually one of our mentions for the week. And, you know, I think he's continuing, if he continues to improve, continues to, you know, believe in himself, that each week he'll have a role and he'll play. I think you'll probably see us eventually have some type of rotation there among our tackles, just to, one, keep those guys fresh, and two, continue to develop them, you know, in games. So I thought he did well, and pleased with him and the progress he's made so far.
Looking ahead to New Mexico State, you know, obviously the guys that were here last year remember what happened when they were here, you know, at the end of the season last year. Do you address that at all with the team, or you just kind of flush that and forget it and move it on? It's a, you know, new staff, new team, new year.
The guys that know, you know, I told them, I said, the majority of guys here weren't here, so I said, we didn't bring it up. They know, you know, I got embarrassed, obviously, last year, and you're watching the video, and for whatever reason it happened. But there's no need for us to bring it up. I mean, our focus is on this group and this team and what we have to control. We know they're really good, and you know, based off of last year, you know, they're not coming in here being intimidated. You know, they're not going to care. They came in here, you know, and smacked us, and so I think the only thing you take from it is that you know you're coming in a team that's came in here and beat us handily, and so we didn't. That's basically all I said about it, because the focus is more on just our group and our guys, and then the first conference. You know, this is the first conference game for a lot of our guys that have never been part of that conference, and then we've obviously got guys that have been a part of the conference in other places, but maybe haven't played, you know, much. And so that's more of our focus, is just a conference opener, trying to get 1-0, and you know, the importance of the climbing the ladder in your conference. You know, your 8 conference games, and the importance of those and what those mean, and how each step is vitally important. You can't get to the top without taking that first one. That's been our message.
Thoughts on Diego Pavia and their offense and what's made it so efficient here over the first couple of weeks? I think 14 in the country in total offense.
Yeah, they're one. He's really good. He's very good at handling the ball, handling the things that they do. He throws and makes plays. He can get them out of trouble with his legs, and then they've got some skilled guys that can go. And I think what they do a good job of is in the run game. They do some similar stuff to what we do. They get you outnumbered, and then they get the ball in some speed guys' hands and go. But he's the catalyst. He's really good. He takes care of it, and he gets out of just he's like a magician. He gets out of some things that are amazing. And so we're going to have to do really detailed, disciplined in our assignments, but we have to be able to get him down, because that's where he really hurt you.
And what have you seen from their defense that you think could pose some challenges to your group?
They do give you a lot of different looks. You know, they blitz a lot. They bring a lot of pressure, and so it's hard to lock in on what they want to try to do all the time. You know, certain times, you know, in certain defenses, hey, they're going to line up like this, and I can play it. They do a lot of different things and bring a lot of different blitzes from everywhere. And so to make sure you're in a good play or a play that's not going to put you at a lot of risk is the challenge versus them, and that's where they've done a good job and been able to play pretty good defense doing that.
Last week we talked a lot about, you know, just the newness, uncertainty for both teams. New Mexico State's already played 2 games. Having 2 games on film, does that, you know, maybe lower the anxiety levels a little bit as you've been able to see, you know, what they've done and tried to do the first 2 games?
I think it helps you knowing that you've seen them play twice and had to play. Obviously, their last game ended up winning quite a bit, but it was, you know, decently close there through the third quarter. And so I think it gives you a good idea of who they are and what they're trying to be, you know. But you know, we're no secret in what we're trying to be either. So I don't know how much of an advantage here or there that they play 2 or 1. They've obviously had more opportunity to get game-like experience, and also what game days feel like as far as being in shape and conditioning.
Coach, is there a weird sense of relief getting past this first game, you know, being new program, so many new faces on this roster and trying to implement this system? Is there just, instead of maybe joy, a little bit of relief getting past that?
No, there's always joy in winning. So I've never took for granted how hard it is to win. So we're thankful for that, and we'll always celebrate wins, no matter how ugly or how good or whatever. But personally, yeah, I mean, it's the first one's always, I think, challenging, and especially at a new place, and you're trying to establish what you believe in your culture, and it's good to get that one, I don't want to say out of the way, but good to get a good foundation from that. So personally, yeah, a little bit.
You brought up you brought up special teams more than once after the game on Saturday. What will be the point of emphasis in special teams in practice here this week?
Well, I loved our effort in special teams, but obviously, the special teams also could have changed the game there. And so, just from a kicking standpoint, we got to do a way better job of kicking. I thought our coverage was really good. I thought our effort was great. If you look at we call it our heart team. You look at our heart team, our kickoff team, man, they flew down the field and were tremendous. But our kicking piece, as far as how we made the field goals, which Tegan was excited with the block. We also had a second one block that went in. And then obviously Max kicking the one out of bounds. Those are momentum changers, right? And so everybody just doing their job, not trying to do more, just doing some base things there. I thought we were trying to do too much in some of that instead of just letting the game come to us. And so that's the focus this week.
Good time for one more.
Coach, last week you used 3 running backs back to be Blue, Lucas, and Cooley, and kind of a running back by committee. Is that going to be your plan going forward, or are you going to look to more have just one starter?
No, I think you'll see us continue to probably use a little bit more Victor Ben, somebody that we needed to get more opportunities. We're going to get him as he continues to learn, and we continue to gain trust in him. James Joyner, somebody that's potentially well. So we'll be a committee. We'll obviously be smart on who we want to get the majority of the touches, but I think it's important to keep those guys fresh, and also they all have different skills.
All right, Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you.